show you one of the little things that I made. My little ornament here. See if you can see that. Everybody's eating candy. And this is not edible, but it's very, very, very easy to make. Now let's go on over to Craft Cam and I'll show you all of the materials on how you actually make this. It's super easy and it's using a material or a foam clay that I was lucky enough to receive from Miss Maria Nereus. So she sent me this amazing foam which I've never played with before until a couple days ago. It's called Cloud Clay. Alright, so Cloud Clay is really cool. It's non-toxic, which means it's mainly geared towards kids. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to be playing with this a lot more. So much fun. If you've never played with Cloud Clay before, it feels kind of like clouds. And it smells a little bit like soap. And it stretches super far, very light, and just has these really neat effects. So we'll play with some tonight. I'll show you just out of this little plastic bag how much that stretches. Look at that. It's kind of like Laffy Taffy, but not as thick and goopy as Laffy Taffy. So if you've never played with this before, and also another reason I like this is because it actually is just not anywhere close to dirty. Usually when you're playing with any sort of clay, you sort of get a little residue. It's kind of, not gooey, but you know, just maybe a little bit slimy or something like that. But this, it just feels like those erasers that you can buy, those clay erasers that you can buy. It feels exactly like that. Love this stuff. So clearly, what I wanted to do was candy corn colors. So I have a yellow and an orange. If you do use this, you can have it, you know, the bag open for quite some time without it drying. It dries overnight. It's probably about 8 hours you're going to get a full dry on it. And you just knead it up a little bit to get it nice and warm and going. And then you just put it back into a resealable bag. Very easy to do. So I'm just grabbing, I don't really measure all that often. I'm just grabbing a nice little, probably like 2.5 fingers full of foam, or sorry, Cloud Clay. It just feels like foam, so I'm always calling it foam. And like I said, the smell is not, you know, caustic or anything. It just kind of smells like a mild soap, which is really kind of nice because sometimes when you're working with these clays, it can smell a little funky. Now to make this is the fun thing. To make this really cute lollipop, all you have to do is roll your different colors. You can use multiple colors. I'm just going to use these 3 because I wanted the candy corn effect. Of course, I'm clearly obsessed with candy corn. And you just roll them into a nice snake. If you're feeling like, oh my gosh, it's going to break, it actually is going to go farther than you think it's going to go. It doesn't have to be a crazy even roll, spaghetti string. Just do your best, and of course you can roll it on the desk as well, on your craft surface. Like I said, non-toxic, and that just fell off, but that's okay. It likes to stick to its other friends too. And just roll it out till you get it to almost spaghetti thin. This is kind of a linguine without it being, this is making me hungry, without it being flat. So I've got that, spaghetti thin. I'm going to put my extra over here. If I wanted to make a super long one or a couple of these, I could continue out here. But I'll just use that for extras. And then I'll just take some of this. Yellow. I love that Maria sent this to me a while ago, and I'm finally using it, but I knew I would use it for Halloween. Knew I would. This is the funnest part. With the kids, they can roll out all of their little worms, and then you can start twisting them together. If you get it to a certain thickness that you just don't want to roll it anymore, you can kind of stretch it. So now I have that, and it's a little bit too thick on the ends for me. Alright, so I put that next to my white one, and now I just need a little bit of orange. Very, very fun. This is what I want to do. I keep on saying I want to do all these different crafts from every week with my nephews for Thanksgiving. It's our craft Thanksgiving. But seriously, this is yet another craft I have to do with my nephews because it's just so much fun. And you can make so many different things with it. In fact, I made a little candy corn with this as well. So I'm just stretching it out, and putting it next to my other ones. Okay, so now I have 3. You see that? Now all I have to do is just put them together. So just lightly, and these things take really easily to each other. So you don't have to squish. You just have to sort of push them together a little bit. And they actually will just start to adhere to each other. And you got that nice little line. I'm cutting the end off over here because it's sort of straggling. And pull that a little bit. Pinch that. Okay, so I'm going to start rolling, and very easy to do. Twisting, actually. So you just twist, 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 and you'll start to see these really, really cool, what I call like My Little Pony horns. You know how unicorns have those nice twists in them? That's what I call this. You want to make it pretty thin, so as you're twisting, you don't have to, just continue twisting from the top, but you can just twist down the line, and they're just going to get tighter and tighter and tighter, and you can also pull while you're twisting, and then they're just going to sit right in place. This is just so much easier than any other type of clay that I've tried to use before. Of course, leave it to me to take to the kid clay. But this is going to make me probably 2 lollipops this length when it's finally finished. So twist it up to your liking. And I'm just going to continue. Like I said, it's probably going to make a couple because I'm going to probably end up stretching it out just a little bit more as well. Alright, so I'm twisting all the way to the end. And of course you can take the ends off. And I'm not liking some of the twisting that was going on in the middle, but that's okay. I can just go back and twist it, and then I'm just going to cut it in half to start making my very first lollipop. Alright. Lollipop, lollipop, oh lolly, lolly, lolly. Okay, now all you have to do is pick the end that's going to be the tiniest end, and that's going to be the inside of your lollipop. This is the smallest part of my strand here, and this looks like it's the largest part, so I'm just going to start from here. Alright. You're going to say it. It does sound like I have a lisp. I don't know. I've been noticing that my playbacks actually do sound like I have a lisp. Maybe I've developed a lisp. Now I'm lisping. But everybody's asking about my lisp. Okay. So now I'm just rolling it up like a snail. Okay. Look at that. How easy is that? Now, depending on what you want to do with this, you're going to pick out your holes. Now, this is probably the hardest part, is the popsicle sort of stick, the stick at the bottom. I just took a barbecue skewer and hold it gently, because you don't want to smush the top of it too much, but hold it gently and then just push that in. And you probably want to take that out and then wait for this to dry, and then put a little bit of hot glue in there, and then put your stick back in. So that is just like that. And then I'm just taking a straight tool, and I'm putting the hole in the top for my ornament hanger. Of course, you can use the barbecue skewer again. Just be very delicate with, holding it on the top, because you don't want to smush the fine details of your twirls. So that's just that. And then once it's dry, like I said, you're going to have something that looks like this. If you want it to look glossy, you can finish it with a Mod Podge or any other type of sealer, like an enamel sealer or an acrylic sealer, and that's going to give it like a really lollipop luster, and it will look really, really nice. So that is it, and I'll probably end up sparkling this finished one as well. And of course, your little bows at the bottom, I probably will end up putting like a little tag on it that says 2010, because I like to make my ornaments sort of relevant to the year that I created them in. And that is how you make a little lollipop from cloud clay. And Amako makes this, play and clay. So you can go and pick that up. I just want to show you a couple other things that I did. I did some big old candy corn pendants here. These are going to be ornaments as well. And then with your leftovers, you can make these really easy to make. I love these marbled sort of beads. And I'll just show you really quick how fun it is to make those marbled beads. You just put a little bit of each color in and roll her up like that. And if you want, you can stick your little stick through and then roll it back into shape. Again, I'm not a huge, clay working person, so I'm sure there's an easier technique, but this is what I have on hand, and this is how I do it. It's always good to see how other people do things sometimes. All right, there you go. A nice little bead that you can use with maybe on a garland for your Halloween decorations, that kind of thing. Okay, Alicia said that, she did give me a challenge, but it wasn't a challenge to hang teeth off of her necklace. It was a challenge to create teeth that could bite into her necklace pieces. And I'll show you, actually, I did something, and I might have cheated a little bit, but I did something because I wanted to learn how to make teeth marks, and I'm just going to show you. I just put together 3 colors to create a candy corn, and I'm just going to smash it with my ruler here, and then shape it a little bit so that we have somewhat of a candy corn shape. And I'll show you what I made really quickly. Alicia, you're going to laugh because it's definitely not something you're going to put on your necklace, but it's something that you can use to do a bite mark out of one of your little fake candy pieces there. Okay, so that's pretty flat. All right. So what I did was I took my favorite drink, which is FRS. It comes in a can. And I made this kind of, I guess you could call it a cookie cutter, into kind of a demonish sort of teeth shapes. And all I wanted to do, and this will be my first attempt at this to see if it'll work. Of course, be careful if you're dealing with raw aluminum, but I live on the edge. And all I wanted to do was see if I put it into my freshly rolled cloud clay, if it would create kind of a crazy little shape. And it does. It does. So probably need to take a couple different stabs at that, but it looks like a demon just went in and went ah on that. I do have a first aid box in my craft room. Shouldn't every girl that's a klutz and crafts with hot glue and sharp things? All right, so Alicia, yeah, Freddie took a bite. So that is, I will consider this meeting my challenge of doing my teeth that are bite marks into the clay. But that's what I meant essentially for your pieces, was it would be funny to see like a chunk of bite mark taken out of there. All right.